Welcome back to your daily dose. I'm here with Max, and we're talking about the King Kong convention. He's a fellow dollar baby filmmaker like myself, and he did a film called The Last Rung on the Ladder, based on a Stephen King short from, I believe, Night Shift. Is that
Yes.
okay?
No.
Early collection, one of Stephen King's collection of shorts, and so my immediate feeling with this, the first thing that popped off to me was something that in therapy world we call imposter syndrome. How much of a part of this was that for your character, who is, I don't want to give away too much, but we'll say he's struggling with some accolades he's getting as a therapist, and a past traumatic event? Is that a fair sum?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't thinking imposter syndrome when I wrote that, but it's kind of funny. I've been ever since this has been the film has been playing at film festivals, getting awards. We're nominated for 6 at the Milwaukee Independent Film Awards. I'm going to be at the Ethos Film Awards in Santa Monica, and I and the and that's the thing. I call imposter syndrome carnival bark of despair, and I say he doesn't know how to deal with success. And so I do believe that it is a part of it. I believe imposter syndrome is anxiety plus success
Okay.
because you don't think you deserve the success.
Yeah.
You think that eventually the success, the bottom will fall out. And so then you don't pursue it. But if you don't pursue it, it will. It's like a self fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you familiar at all with Brene Brown's work?
I'm afraid no.
No, no worries. She is a researcher who deals. One of her main issues she deals with is called the shame resilience theory. She came up with that specifically for women, but again, it's universally applicable. Shame is a major theme in your story. Talk to me about the expression of shame, because, and I don't want to give away too much, but whatever you'd like to say for your character, and why perhaps you chose this story. Did it meet something in your life? Why was it important for you?
Well, first off, I picked this story because I was going to be a tribute to my Aunt Betty, who's a first generation mental health warrior. Google Betty Blaska, and you can see she wrote about being institutionalized back in the 70s. She also introduced me to Stephen King when I was way too young.
Uh-huh.
And so 22 is going to be the 25th anniversary of her suicide. And so I wanted to do this as a tribute. And when I saw that Last Strong was one of the stories available, I said, "Oh, this is perfect because I can tell a story about suicide. I can tell a story about depression, anxiety, mental health." And at first, it was just going to be a tribute to my aunt. It's become something much more. Also, in the short story, the sister is a call girl. I made her a cam girl, but I wanted to also say something about in my research, women in the sex work industry have, I believe, it's a 3 time rate of suicide as people outside. And so that is something I wanted to address as well. And in fact, in the premiere, had Damascus Road, which is a nonprofit that helps get women out, women leaving the sex industry, was able to speak.
That's a fantastic thing, because this story was released, I think, in the early 80s. So this is one of the modernizations you did. The problem's perpetual, as you mentioned, women making a choice that they feel perhaps they have to, or they've been unfortunately groomed into in some fashion, and then become trapped. I lived in Las Vegas for 20 plus years, knew many women who worked in that, in the adult industry, and they talked about the golden handcuffs, getting so much money and so much sort of notoriety that it filled a certain kind of pain, a shame, whatever. And that's not to demonize people. I think it's possible
Mm.
to do it in a healthy manner. However, when you bring up a number like 3 times the rate of suicide, there's some honest conversation that needs to happen that doesn't.
Yes.
So with your film, along with shame, guilt was a major one I picked out. And I don't know for you, that was the Catholic guilt there because Stephen King wrote about it, or is that part of your background as well?
I was a Catholic. I'm now I'm now social justice evangelical Presbyterian.
That's a hell of a title. Oh, it's funny, the role of religion in our lives. I was Catholic, very much studied Buddhism, Taoism as kind of a break free, and now I'm back into Catholicism because of my kids. So it's a roundabout, interesting combination thing we all do. But I appreciate all roads. Last thing for now, on this episode at least, I want to talk about the use of the inner demon as a character. What did you call him? What was his
The
name?
Carnival Barker of Despair.
Okay, which is fantastic. Great title, Carnival Barker of Despair. Um, King's work were often thought of as unfilmable early on because of the psychological element, and people solve them in different ways, by voiceover or by this sort of thing. What was the choice for you to say this is how I'm going to make this character come to life? I mean, was that hard to come up with, or?
No. Because like I said, I already worked in the super better coming up with the my Carnival Book of Despair. It was very easy to translate into the character, and because I wanted to show, because the whole story is about Larry's guilt, and instead of a voiceover, I wanted to actually show and manifest it. And uh, someone at Stephen King Short Movies said, this is like a character Stephen King maybe wished that he wrote. So that's the thing. I wanted it to be very, a bit like could stand up with Leland Gaunt, Linoge, or Pennywise.
Yeah, they're feeding on whatever our emotional baggage is. That's exactly what they're doing, and you bring up all the tropes in a great way. Necessarily, people are going to go, "Oh my gosh, where do I see this?" The pain of the dollar baby world is we're limited. Is there a website or anything I can point people to? Put in the notes down here for them?
We have a Facebook group,
Great.
Last Ladder Adaptation, and we put up like movie festivals that are coming up where people can see it. If you're in the the LA area, Ethos Film Awards in Santa Monica on November 9th, and Milwaukee Independent Film Awards November 17th.
We'll talk offline, and I'll get those links and include them in the description so people
Cool.
can check them out. Let's come back for another episode in a minute. See you.